It looks as if we're battening down the hatches. I guess that's how you say that, for another storm. I just cannot believe how much rain we've had here in California. So my cat's getting all nervous, and it's just kind of what's going on in the backyard. I want to thank you for all your questions and this whole hand quilting experience that I've been able to teach to you over the internet is just awesome, because I can go teach a local class, say at the Cotton Patch in Lafayette, California, and only affect maybe 14 people at one pop. So I do want to say this, I want to reiterate that when I first started hand quilting, it was just so clumsy. I mean, it was awful, but I had to graduate from college, so finishing the quilt or not finishing the quilt was not even a whatever. The point is, I found out I was a unit short, and I contracted to finish a quilt that my grandma started in the 30s, and so, I just had to quilt. The more you practice, of course, better you'll be. When I learned to machine quilt, it took me about 150 hours to get my hands around it, and that was not using the Bernina stitch regulator. Hand quilting, give yourself 20 hours. And I think a lot of it is kind of a head thing. And if you feel your shoulders growing out of your ears, shake it off and walk away from it. Don't worry so much about the size of your stitches, worry about the evenness. And another thing that I see, size will come, all right? Another thing I see is that people put the 3 layers in the hoop or in the frame a little too tight. So if you have it in there too tight, you won't be able to do the rocking stitch, which moves the fabric up and down so you can get the tiny stitches. One other thing I want to address before I do your questions is that when I do quilt, it's not on a regular basis because, well, you can probably guess what my lifestyle's like. What'll happen is I'll get a hole in my finger that's underneath that's pushing it up. Well, New Skin is a wonderful product that you can get from a drugstore. It comes in aerosol and what I call kind of like rubber cement. You want the rubber cement stuff, and what you do is you put it on your finger where the hole is, let it dry, and then it literally putties up the hole so you can continue quilting. Often I find that the needle might slip and hit my thumb also, and I'll get a hole in that. So love New Skin. And then of course you can use an udder cream like bag balm to put on your hands at night in order to get them, pulled back into shape. I'll tell you a little tip. If you have a local feed store, like we have feed store here in Livermore, because we're not rural because we're the Bay Area, but we have people with cows and horses and all that. You can get a giganto jar of bag balm very, very cheaply, and you could even like collect little tins, like from little mint tins or something, and put it in there and give it to your friends for Christmas. And because you go to a store and get it in a specialty can, and you're gonna be paying a lot of money. So that's just a little side trick.